Women of the fire, we are protectors. All above, all below. Our goddess cycle, energy flows. All above, all below. All as one, together strong. Women of the earth, we are strong. Women of the air, we are infinite. Women of the water, we are healers. Women of the fire, we are protectors. All above, all below. Our goddess cycle, energy flows. All above, all below. All as one, together strong. All is one, together strong.
So, hi there, everyone. It's great to be here. I've got a couple of comments already. Wendy, I hope you're well. I am well. Thank you very much. It's great to be here. Just going to wait for a few other people to come on. I see there's a few here. There's a couple here already. So it's getting cold, isn't it? My goodness, how cold is it at the moment? It's bonkers, isn't it? It's been a lot of fun getting tonight ready. I've also been getting together a ritual I'm doing for Imbolc for the coven, which has been a lot of fun, I have to say. So looking forward to delivering that on the 4th. That's not a live thing. That's in the mundane world. Hello, user. So I'm just going to wait for a few others. So how's Wendy? Are you okay? Yep, so hi there, everyone. My name's Harkate, as you can see from the ticker down at the bottom, and it's great to be here. This is obviously divine. Still got that horrible cold that's going around. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Wendy. Nasty, absolutely nasty. It took me a while. I had it a little while ago, and it took me a while to get over it. So not good at all. I hope you feel better soon. I really do. But really pleased that you could be here today. So this is always the funny bit of the thing. Whilst we're just waiting for people to come on in. So I'll probably say this a couple of times. Actually, I'll do a little banner quickly, I think. just gonna type it in. So yeah, so last time we were all together, it turns out that anybody within the group, I can't see anybody's name, and it's a bit daunting. It's a bit hard for me to reply to people because of that. But I love the fact that everybody was having a bit of a chat. And I would love that to continue. So carry on having a good old chat to each other. And if there's anything that kind of is, you want to talk about, oh yeah, I did that, whatever, with the other people within the live, then do feel free to do that. But if you would like to actually ask me a question, just put a capital Q at the front, so that way I know that it's a question rather than people replying. That will help me out no end. And it means I won't reply to things where people are just talking to about just general stuff. So I know my hubby was online and he was having a chat with the neighbor, and I was actually answering his chat with the neighbor, which was quite funny for people thinking, oh my goodness, what's going on? But yeah. So let's get going. So welcome. And it's lovely to be here. Oh, one of my lamps had just fallen down. Oh dear. But it's lovely to be here. And let's get that up. There you go. Yeah, so I said a little bit about me last time, but for those who weren't here, my name's Harkate. I'm a priestess for Wiccan Coven, and I've been on a spiritual path for a long time, good 30, 40, well, good 30 years. So this is not about witchcraft per se, although we look for divine inspiration in all that we do, but it's about finding a little bit of peace, a little bit of help, a little bit of confidence within the pagan world and the pagan wheel of the year. The wheel of year, there is 8 cycles, as it were, 8 festivals, which are and they all tell a story. I'll go back into that in a little bit. So I'll tell you what, so that's a little bit about me. So why not in the comments leave a little bit about you? Let me know comments, your path you walk, what you would like to gain from being here, and maybe pop in your favorite drink or color or something, whatever. It'd be lovely to hear from you and see what you're thinking. So tonight we're going to be how it's going to actually work is we're going to open a circle, which is a way for us all to connect and to ask the divine, to ask the energies to connect us all, so that we are open and protected. And then I'm going to do a short, and it is a very short beginning meditation, a bit like the one we did last time, but even shorter. And it's just to get us into a frame of mind, as it were. I'm then going to talk a little bit about each of the festivals and how the Wheel of the Year tells a story. And then I'm going to talk about nature's path a little bit. And then I'm going to go on to the handouts. Now, something that you might actually want is a piece of paper and a pen. If you've not downloaded the handouts, that's fine. You don't need to at all. But if you can go to my Patreon and download those. But a pen and a paper would be really helpful for you to take down any notes that you actually might find helpful for you and your path. I'm not here to tell you what path or what to do or anything like that, really. I'm here just to point out the general pagan kind of aesthetics of each of the turning of the wheel, of the turning of the year, and each festival. So this festival is Imbolc, which is actually personally one of my favorites. So I'm really pleased that I'm doing this one today. And I hope you find that as well. Then what we'll do is we'll run through that, and then we shall have a large meditation, so that people can look back on what you've just been told, what you may have written down that might have caught your eye, caught your inspiration, and then we're going to go on to a few questions, and the questions are questions that you can fill just for yourself, to write them down and jog them down, things that you might be able to, that you might want or you might be able to implement, using the Imbolc, the time of the season, as inspiration to help you walk your path, perhaps help you in the mundane world or in your magical world if you do the magical world as well. So I've got a couple of comments here. Hi, hubby. So let's have a look at this one. This has got to be Wednesday. I'm not feeling too well today. So if I can't say, apologies. I'm Heather, and I'm an empath, and I'm studying Druid herbalism. So festivals and the Wheel of Year is very close to my heart. I love all the chakra colours and the odd gin and tonic. Doesn't everyone like the odd gin and tonic? It's lovely to see you here, Heather. Like I said, I can't see people's names, so pop in your name in there was really helpful, and it's lovely to have you with us. I believe you were with us last time as well, weren't you, Heather? So it's lovely to have you with us. And yeah, I'm Druidcraft. So although I'm a Wiccan priestess, my path actually follows a druidic path quite closely, and the way I think about things is quite druidic as well. So hopefully you'll gain something and some inspiration from this as well. Okay. So hi, let's get rid of comments a sec. No. Okay, so we're 12 minutes in now, so I think it's time to open the circle. So if you've not lit your candles yet, if you've got candles ready to be lit tonight, then please feel free to light your candles. And I've actually got the circle opening words here for us, so we can all read them if you want to, but I shall read them out anyway. So let's get rid of that so we can see them all. There you go. So just take a moment, look into your flame and feel the energy around you. Feel you connecting with the people around, the people that are in this group that are with us tonight. From east on the mighty wing be spread, wild spirits of the air and storm, from south with flaming aspects dread, let fiery guardians take their form. From western seas with tossing foam, oh watch its issues from the deep. From northern shades, from beds of loam, let gods and goddess vigil keep. O elements, receive our call, and power gather into sight, and build four mighty towers tall to ring us from the world this night, and guard this circle across this land where we are met to work our hand. Circle is cast. So circles are cast for a lot of different reasons, but mainly so that it can bring protection for people from outside elements. It's a place where you're safe and secure. It's a time where you can turn your area, wherever that is, into a sacred space so that you can invite deity, gods or goddesses, or just the elements, or just the spirit of place into your area, and know that you are safe and that you're working in a clean environment. So we do that quite often. So we're going to go over to the little beginning meditation. So like I said before, to do meditation, you need to sit up straight, no slouching. It helps you stop falling asleep. Not that I think anybody's going to fall asleep in these ones, because it's quite, it's quite a short meditation. But put your feet firmly on the ground, sit up straight. And if you've got your candle in front of you, just stare into the flame. And we shall begin. Just look into the flame and see it flickering. Start listening to your breath. We're going to be taking 4 long breaths. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. And exhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. And exhale for 4, 2, 3, and 4. Slowly close your eyes and just focus on your breathing. With every in-breath, feel the life-giving air fill your lungs. Feel it energizing you. And with every exhale of your breath, feel the energies of the day, particularly any negative energies. Feel them being released out of your exhale breath. If your mind wanders at any time, just go back to start breathing again with the long breaths. And inhale for 2, 3, and 4. And exhale for 2, 3, and 4. Loosen your shoulders, loosen your back, loosen your hips, loosen your feet. Feel the energy of the day just slowly flowing through your body, down, 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 down your legs, down to your feet, then out into the floor. Push your feet hard into the floor and then let them go. And once more. And let them go. And we're going to finish with 3 deep breaths. In for 4, 2, 3, and 4. And out for 4, 2, 3, 4. And in for 4, 2, 3, 4. And out for 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, open your eyes. Give yourself a bit of a wiggle. Fantastic. Fantastic. Hi, Jane. I was immediately drawn to winter and the outside world as you open the group. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what the Wheel of the Year is all about. Let's go over to my banners. Here we go. So the Wheel of the Year, if you've not downloaded the free ones, which actually shows you the free downloads, there are 8 festivals. So you've got 4 quarter festivals, which are the Samhain, Imbolc, Beltane, and Lunacy. Now these are known as the Celtic festivals, and they've been going for years and years and years. And so they're known as the main festival. So then you've got the quarter festivals, which is Ostara, Litha, Mabon, and Yule, which are known as the neo-pagan festivals, which are also celebrated. They're known by other things. If you're druidic, whatever, and I won't go into those now, or if you're in other religions, dare I say, or other pagan paths, they're also called other things, which you can always look up online. But the Wheel of the Year it tells a story. So you kind of have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Now, with the pagan Wheel of the Year, it always starts with Samhain, which is Halloween, which sounds a bit weird, but in the old days, if you think about it, before we had internet and the Gregorian calendar, Samhain was the time when everything started to get really dark, and it was a time of bedding down. It was a time when you could no longer do as much work. It was the last of the harvest, and you couldn't do much work, and you were busy preparing, ready to bed down for the winter periods. And then you went through the dark phase and the dark periods into spring, or Imbolc. And now Imbolc, which is the pagan spring, is all about life and returning the light, which I'll explain a bit later on. Then we actually go into Beltane, which is a fire festival, and it's all about it's all about preparing for the growth of the harvests, and it's about preparing yourself, and I'll go into that more later on. And then you've got Lunacy, which is the first of the harvests, and so forth. So it tells a story of going from dark into light and slowly back into dark again, which is really helpful to look on life just generally. But I won't go into too much because there was a lot of information to get across today and in the other groups as well. But before I go any further, what I want to do is just say online we are often told we need to get back in touch with nature, which I do agree with, totally agree with that. But I also don't, because that's actually saying that we're not nature, and we are nature. the nature cycles is part of who we are. Every one of us. We are human, and we are an animal of some kind, whatever that might mean. So, but we are an animal at the end of the day, and our cycles, personally, I think our cycles should actually match with nature. Unfortunately, we actually think we're generally bigger than nature, and we're better than nature, and we destroy nature. So ultimately, we're actually going to be destroying ourselves in the long run. But if you start living with the year of the year, living with the year of the wheel of the year, even, then you're actually going to start embracing who you actually are. You're no longer going to be fighting against the natural order of things. You're no longer going to be fighting against Mother Nature, and you're actually going to be working with her. So that allows us to walk more akin with Mother Nature herself. And when we do that, she shows us how we can walk our path and take inspiration from that. Each part of the wheel of the year, each seasonal festival has a particular element, association with that we can look at and we can take heart in. And there are loads of them. Some of us are more attuned to rocks and crystals. Some of us are more attuned to herbs or trees. Some more to the elements. But there are all of those involved with each festival, so that everybody can get involved and everybody can take heart and everybody can find inspiration from those things and their meanings. So there's a bit of homework that needs to be done every time you go looking, but their meanings as well to what it actually could mean for you personally. So the Celts used to worship many gods and goddesses, and I like to think of them as the spirit of the place or season. So you'll see when I talk about Bridget a bit later on, how she is the spirit of the goddess. She is a goddess, but she's also a spirit of a place or an idea, and a thought process. So what I also mean by that is some people during Lammas or Lunasa, they will actually make dolls to celebrate and to appease the spirit of the corn, and they're called corn dollies. So they do that to appease the spirits so that they don't have a bad harvest. And of course, crops failed or whatever, and so they didn't want those to happen. So that's what I mean by the spirit of the place or the season. There were certain gods and goddesses that people actually worshipped, and actually really believed in wholeheartedly that if they didn't do something in a particular way or at a particular time, then the harvest would die, or the crops wouldn't grow, or the rains would come and destroy everything. And so the gods and goddesses, in many ways, I think personally, a lot of people really believe in the gods and goddesses, but I think of them more as a spirit of a place or a spirit of an idea rather than an actual person themselves. I hope that's helpful to people. Yeah, so getting to grips to these seasons, as I said, is working with Mother Nature herself. Not only helps us in the physical, mundane world, but we can start to look at the seasons in the spiritual and magical realms as well. And we'll look at that in a bit further on. So let's have a look. I'm going to put up there we are. So, and get rid of this one. So these can be downloaded from my Patreon if you so want to, or this is the time for you to get madly writing. So Imbolc is a radiant time. It is still cold with frost and snow bestowing the ground with its white embrace. Whomever the Imbolc festival heralds the arrival of spring, it whispers about the earth's reawakening and the gentle stirrings of life beneath winter's white veiled mantle. It marks the inception of the tender blooms and the melodic return of the avian melodies, reminding us of the timeless cycle of birth, of expansion and rebirth. In this juncture, we revere the divine spark of inspiration, guiding our journey towards new beginnings. So when we're on our spiritual path, you can kind of see just from that Imbolc is all about things that are hidden, things that are frosted, that have got a covering over them that you can know that you can't see, but things are stirring underneath. Things are swelling up. You've got seeds that are swelling. You've got little buds that are starting to form on the trees. You can't see them yet, but they are swelling. A lot of people actually think that spring and all this happens in April, but no, it happens now. It happens in January and February, particularly in February. And we're doing this all in preparation for Imbolc, which is on the 1st of February. So, but there's loads of things that we can actually look at there. So when I say the timeless cycle of birth, expansion, and rebirth, obviously birth, but that doesn't necessarily mean birth as in a mother giving birth. It could be birth to an idea. It could be birth to a new project. It could be, anything like that. So when you've got expansion, it's starting to work on that. It's like the seed starting to swell up. It's not ready to put out its roots yet, but it's swelling up. The idea is growing inside. It's not ready to spring forth yet. And then, of course, you've got the cycle of rebirth. And quite often at this time of year, the seeds from last year, because the waters of the land, of the snow and the frost and the ice, are telling the seeds it's time and get ready to grow again. So we can very much use this in our own personal lives. So I'm going to carry on now. Much akin to the revered Celts venerating the goddess Bridget, we embrace the tenacity of the creativity and inspiration. Imbolc beckons us to enkindle the flames of the inner passions, nurturing our aspirations and dreams. It stands as a threshold for fresh commencements or starts, where we sow the seeds of purpose and witness their sprouting with these spirited energies. So at Imbolc, homage is paid and referred to the goddess Bridget, guardian of the sacred flame and patroness of the poets, healers, and artisans. And in many pagan paths, we extol her wisdom and her elegance and her counsel, entreating her presence to bestow blessings upon our endeavors and infuse our lives with the creativity and restoration. Now, Bridget was amazing. She was an amazing goddess, and she was actually worshipped over in Ireland. I've forgotten the name of the place. If somebody can help me out there, I should have put it down. But there was a monastery there where they worshipped her, and they kept this flame going relentlessly. It didn't matter. It would never go out. They would never let it go out. And it was always lit so that it reminded them of the movement from the dark times into the light times. At Yule, we've actually got that time where the light actually starts to return to us. We don't really see it, and unless you actually follow the solstices, which we will do in this live, then you don't actually really realize that the sun is coming back to us. But we can start seeing it now, and it was light around, it was just starting to get dark about 4:30 now, wasn't it? So we can actually see that. And Bridget's flame was to remind everybody, not only just because it kept the place warm, but to remind everybody that brighter times were coming. Doesn't matter how dark the times were, because in those times, winter was a time of loss. It was a time of death and separation. A lot of people passed into the other world in those times. So the light just reminded them that there is hope on the horizon for us all, no matter how dark the season is getting. As daylight's embrace extends its reach, we exult in the resurgence of light, both inward and outward. Embracing the assurance of prolonged days, we embrace the transformative potency of the sun's rays with revigorated vigor and vitality. So this is catching on to the energy that spring has. Spring, well, the pagan spring anyway, but the pagan spring is, you can see it happening. I find it amazing how we get all the frosts and then all the snows, and then they disperse, and then they come back and they disperse, and there's loads of energy, there's loads of movement, and it's so pretty. I'm sorry, I love the snow and the frost and everything, and I think it's so pretty, but there's a lot of energy there. But it's also forever changing. Our environment is changing at this time of year. It looks harsh and horrible and cold, and on other days it's really warm and vibrant and inviting, and I think having that duality there is I find it really exciting. I think you can hear it in my voice. I find it really exciting to think of that, and how I can actually use the idea of things being very quiet and calm, and then all of a sudden everything starts to go a bit bonkers. I quite like the idea of being able to use that. And in fact, my life reflects that quite a lot, I think. So in this phase, we embark upon a voyage of purification and purging. I said about how the darkness is, we're coming out of the darkness now. So the light is coming, and the light makes, if you think about how that actually works, the light makes darker things or shadows darker. When everything's dark, it's just dark. But actually, you're starting to see things shift and move. And in our own personal lives, this is a time where we can actually start looking at some of the shadows in our life that are holding us back, that are on our own path, that we feel are blockages. So this is a really good time to use that water as that freezes over, and use that water to wash away some of the hurts that we might have. We relinquish all that is stagnant through the colder months of winter, clearing the path for the blossoming of our most elevated selves that is often hidden from our sight. Through rituals and introspections, we beckon the gifts of lucidity and revitalization into our midst. So I'm hoping that you can kind of see how this time of Imbolc is a really exciting time. It's a time when people like to relax and ready. Good. I wish I had a log fire. I love log fires. I had a bonfire. I had a fire the other day, and I'm working on a new video. But I won't go in any further into that. Okay, but I think you can see from that how this season of ourselves is all about. We're still bedding down. We're still not ready to like burst forwards and start living and getting everything all rushed and done. But this is the time where we can start preparing ourselves. Sometimes, you know, if sometimes we might actually think about wanting to go out, but it's too cold, but we have to make the preparations to put our hats and coats and scarves on so that we don't get too cold. And we have to make those preparations. But that's also the same in our own lives, in our own spiritual lives too. And those preparations, only you will know what you need to do. You know, there's nobody that can actually tell you, right, you need to do this, you need to do that. But you need to be honest with yourselves, and we'll be looking at that a bit later on. So let's move on. So some of the associations that we have with this time of year, I've mentioned some in the first one. So general themes and symbols, which is the bridged cross. There's loads of online things teaching you how to make a bridged cross, and they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to make. So do feel free to go and have a look at those. So each, so as I said, it encapsulated purification, rejuvenation, fertility, introspection, inspiration, and the stones of awakening of the earth. As the earth quickens and pulsates and revives vitality, and heralds of spring emerges, unleashing the surge of the force of life. That's breaking Imbolc down to a very, very basic level. Plants and animals. So we can actually look at these and yeah, so you've got the spirit of Bridget, obviously, and you've got snowdrops. They're beautiful. The first snowdrops, the whites. What are they called? Sometimes they're called Bridget's lights, aren't they? As well. You've got Bridget's mantle. You've got the rowan and the willow tree. You've got the dandelion and the primrose, rosemary, trillium, the blackberry. Now, I wondered why blackberry at one point, but it's really because it's the time of the first shoots that are coming up. And actually, it's one of our freest and most resources. And also, you've got the rushes as well. And rushes were collected at this time of year so that they could start making and preparing for their rush lights and baskets and things, getting ready because they had to be collected, dried, and ready for the harvests. So each of these echoes nature's awakening promise, and the cycle of rebirth and life. So you've also got stones and colours, of course. So you've got moonstones and garnets and sunstones and bloodstones, rose quartz and jaspers. All of those are amazing stones to work with, full of energy and full of life. My personal favourite is rose quartz and jaspers. Do you have a favourite stone you like, or thing that you like to work with, crystal that you like to work with? Do pop it down in the comments. But each one of these have their own particular meaning. And again, if you don't know, go away and have a look at them and see what it means for you for this time of year. The festivals and foods. So yeah, this is a time when we use the candle a lot. Crafting the bridges cross, which I said earlier, engaging in fiery ceremonies. It's one of the reasons why I'm a pagan is because we have 8 ceremonies and they are approximately 6 weeks apart. That means I get to party every 6 weeks, which is brilliant, isn't it? I just get to party every 6 weeks. I can't think of anything better than that. So we've got obsidian. Obsidian and moonstone. Yeah, I love both of those as well, actually. I like all crystals. I'm not a big crystal user. I love blue kyanite and black tourmaline. Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. I think there's a lot. Amethyst. I have a few amethysts because that's also my birthstone as well, because I am Aquarius. Yeah, sorry about that, everyone, but yeah, I'm Aquarian. So, but saying that, I'm more Piscean than I am Aquarian, but I'm really drawn to amethyst stones, and I have 2 of those as well. So yeah. Just a quick question. You don't have to answer this now or whatever, but one of the things that we're doing here is I'm actually giving you a list of things that you could possibly actually use to help you celebrate Imbolc. Or just to remind you of a path or something that you actually want to do. And we'll go back into this more in a minute, and with the meditation and stuff. But all of these things you can actually use for yourself to actually look within and to help you with your path at this time, and to remind you that this is the time of Imbolc. This is the time that we actually look for rejuvenation. It's the time when we look for inspiration. It's the time of rebirth and awakening. So, how could you use all of these to your own benefits? If you don't know some of them, look them up. I mean, being on a pagan path, we often have to look up stuff all the time. I'm always looking everything up all the time. So have a look at them. So I'll get rid of that now, and I'm just going to just finish off this section. So yeah, so I'm just going to read now because I wrote this earlier, so do bear with me. So there's a lot of information there, especially if you're new to all of this divine inspirational kind of stuff. Would it help if I talked about it as manifesting instead of divine inspiration? What about if I said mindfulness? That's probably less intimidating, right? Well, these pages that I've just been showing you, they're all designed to help us in our path to see where we as humans, as nature, fit in. The world is full of energy, fast, slow, soft, hard. And this can be seen in everything in this world, from the rock on the ground to the trees above our heads. This energy is what connects each and every one of us. And it's up to us to work out how to use it. It's one of the reasons when we use crystals, we understand they have energy. However, we don't know where this energy comes from or why it's around. And perhaps that's why people assign gods and goddesses to stuff that they just couldn't explain. It was so that they could make sense of it all. And people have done this, humans have done this since the beginning of time. But when we start understanding the wheel of the year of nature herself, life has more meaning. We can start to see the beauty in everything. We can start to see the energy and the signs that she has to offer to better enrich our own lives and our family lives. But in turn, by doing that, enriches our spiritual life too. But I have to say, walking on a path, or a spiritual path, or any path, is not easy. But through mindfulness, which is often consciously making an effort to do something or changing the way we think about something for a specific reason. So one example from being, So one example of this from me beginning my path was when I started to make a conscious effort to look at plants and when they actually started to grow. I didn't believe that they started to grow in February. I really didn't. But I actually found out that some of the plants, like bluebells, start growing in January. And it blew my mind. And in fact, our bluebells have started pushing their heads up through the ground like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now. But from that, I saw a change in the way I thought about January and February. They always used to look like dark periods where we had to go to work in the dark, come home in the dark, and it was a real bind. But now I see them, even in the dark things, have energy. Things are growing, even when I feel like I'm in my darkest place. There's always new growth, even when I can't see it. This is called manifestation. This is the transformation from that first mindfulness process of actively doing something to manifesting a change within you, to manifest a change within your thought processes. However, what I saw and realized in my heart was divine inspiration. And for me, divine inspiration is mindfulness coupled with the manifestation, but seeing something that really touches me, that makes me want to look deeper into something I don't know or can never understand. It took my negative thoughts and my negative energies and it reworked them in my head and in my heart. And it changed the way I perceive things and made me a better person with a brighter outlook on life and the situation I was in at the time. Now, I'm sure I'm not alone in this. I'm sure many of you actually have had a similar kind of experience. You know, if you want to share, do share it in the comments, because I'd love to see that. If you've had any like light bulb moments like that, where something it can be the smallest thing, and it's actually completely changed the way you've thought about something, and in turn has actually turned your life round and made it better. So I'd love to see that. I'm Scorpio. Hi, Scorpio. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes for those things to start coming in. So these festivals and foods, so all of these things that I've been talking about, these 2 sheets that are here, all of those can actually be used, as I've said earlier, to really inspire us and to actually say, okay, I'd like to work on this in my life. What can I do? This is all about life. It's all about rejuvenation. It's about making a new start. It's about perhaps starting to think about giving birth to something. What is it that I need to do? What could I do? Whether that's a new project, whether it's a spiritual path, or whether it's something to do with your children or family or work, can be absolutely anything. But Imbolc is a great and perfect time for us to be starting to think about this kind of thing. So, okay. So if there's no comments, they might come through, and I shall read them afterwards. So we are actually going, what's next? What's next? Correspondences. So focus on, yeah. So when we're looking at ourselves, actually at each time of the wheel of the year, our focus is the season, obviously, waking, tending, and resonating and celebrating my life. So those are some of the things that perhaps we need to look at in ourselves about what season am I in? I know I'm in the season of Imbolc, but a season can also be the way you feel. So perhaps you actually feel like you're in the season of summer and you're all bright and cheery and but everything's a bit hot, everything's a bit fast moving, everything's a bit kind of flustery. Or perhaps you feel like you're in the season of somewhere in between Samhain and Yule, where actually you're feeling the dark and the oppression of the darkness. And you're actually starting to get really flustered because you know Yule's coming up or Christmas and you're trying to prepare for everything. And, you know, and that is a season. But also it can be a season of joy, happiness, season of sadness. Okay. So awakening is just what it says. So what do I want to awaken in my life? Is there anything? Is there anything waiting? Is there a project that I put on the back burner that I need to awaken? Is there something I need to tend to? Am I neglecting something? This is the time for us to actually start tending on things as well, you know, and also resonating. What's resonating with you at the moment? You know, what's being pinpointed for your life? Now, all of these things, there's a lot to do, and you can't actually do it all at once. So don't even try. You know, so if you're actually going in Imbolc and you're actually wanting to do some stuff that can change your life a little bit using the wheel of the year, then this is the perfect time to do that. But just focus on one thing. Focus on something that will make your path better. And we'll go into that in a little bit more. So I've got 2 comments here. Let's have a look. A couple of big ones. My new start, creating positive shifts for all parts of my life. My life changed highly last September. I needed the quiet, dark time to heal, and now I'm ready to grow. And that's a brilliant way of looking at Yule. It's a fantastic time to look at Yule. It is a time for us to bed down. It's a time for us to heal ourselves. It is a fantastic time. Most evidence change is if I hit rock bottom, I know the way forwards is upwards. Yeah, definitely. That's hard to do sometimes, isn't it? It really is difficult when we all hit rock bottom and can't work out a way forwards. But actually, we actually get, and this is what I love about the wheel of the year. Every wheel of the year, we get a chance to reevaluate and reset ourselves. So it doesn't matter whether we've hit rock bottom. We can actually sort of say, well, actually, what has this season got for me? And you can be really selfish about it. You forget, I've said it earlier today, we are nature. These seasons are ours. You know, they're there for us to use, to inspire us. So what can we do? How can we use the Imbolc and everything that Imbolc has for us the fertility, the inspiration, the stirrings, the awakenings, the pulsating and a vitality of energy that changes between hard and soft, that change between hard and fluid. How can that kind of change our lives? I can remember a moment in deep meditation where I had the realization of the fact that we are all one. I came out of the session walking on air. I never managed quite as deep a state since, but I remember it, and it was a life-changing, affirming. I want to take the time to go inwards again and refine that bliss. Now is a really good time to do that as well. There's a really good step there for you to kind of nurture and grow, isn't there? So that's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, Imbolc is a great time because we're not quite at Imbolc yet either. So this is still a time of bedding down, remember. Imbolc is the first, but also a lot of people get hung up on Imbolc or any of the different seasons, different parts of the wheel of year as being, it's got to be this day or it's got to be that day. No, whilst it's actually on, the 1st of February, Imbolc, right? So you got the 1st of February, you got the 2nd of February as well. And people that, so the Christians and some pagans actually celebrate Candlemas, and that's on 2nd. So, and that's a great candle lighting festival. I mean, I personally, I don't do Candlemas. I know people that work with angels do Candlemas, and it's fine. Do you know what I mean? But then we've actually got on the 4th, the people that do astrology say that's the time of Imbolc because Aquarius is 15 degrees to the sun. So that's a real potent time. Some people think it's a bit of a dark time, but you can never have a dark time, I don't think, with in Imbolc, not really. Cycles of the moon are rejuvenating. They are as well. And that's another thing to look at. So that's why within this divine inspiration, I've actually put the cycles of the moon in as well. Because we've got the main seasons, but within those, think of it as a wheel within a wheel. So you've got the main season working around, and then you've got the beautiful moon in all her glory, on her full moon and her new moon cycles. One brings in and ushers in new life and abundance and fresh starts, and the other one actually tells us to get rid of stuff, to actually, just to obliterate stuff and to do some shadow work, which is kind of what Imbolc's about as well, is to do some shadow work, those nasty shadows that are stopping us from moving forwards on our path. So, the cycles of the moon are definitely rejuvenating without a doubt. Okay, so I think you've probably had enough of listening to me talking. So I've given you a lot of food for thought there. We're going to go into a meditation now, and let me get rid of the Imbolc thing. Let me get rid of that. And let me get rid of that. There you go. And let me get rid of that ticker. I don't want the ticker on anymore for a while. Okay, so I was actually writing a meditation for this particularly. And then whilst I was there, I remember I'd written a meditation and recorded a meditation a little while ago. And so I thought I'd listen to it and see if it was appropriate for today. And I think it is. It gave me goosebumps, and I hope it gives you goosebumps too. So I decided to choose it. And it really does focus on let's where is it? There it is. Yeah. So the main meditation, divine inspiration of the birch tree. Now I'm all about trees. I love trees. And there's so much we can learn from trees and what we can, how we can use them for our own benefit, for medicine, the way they grow, the way, you know, one tree interacts with another, is everything about nature. Why can I remember that word? Everything about nature interacts with each other. One supports, one doesn't support, and actually lives off something else. But the birch tree is an amazing tree, and she is a fast grower. She is all about new beginnings, and really, this meditation also shows you how knowing about what something like the birch tree can actually help us and help us find divine inspiration within how the tree is, about the way it grows, about its cycle, about what it can do. And this meditation is all about that and how that can implement or into our lives. So it is a recording, so do make yourself really comfortable. We're going to go into our meditation in a second, so do make yourself really comfortable. Remember, back straight, feet on the floor. And I'm just going to go over, I'm going to turn me off, and it's just going to, oh no, I won't turn me off because in case anybody joins us. But there's a small breathing exercise at the beginning of this, and it will, and it will just carry on. So please do enjoy. Get yourself ready. Here we go. Let's go and take a walk and go and meet Birch. But before we do, make sure you're sitting comfortably, perhaps reduce the light and maybe light a candle. Let's just take a few moments to sit calm and quietly. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen to the birds tweet. Birch is all about new beginnings. The new beginnings of anything. The inception of an idea. Birth, rebirth. New starts. New beginnings. Imagine you're sat at the foot of birch, looking up through its canopy, through the dappled light of the leaves, rustling in the breeze. Ask birch what it has for you today. come to a place where the air is clear, where the birch breathes, where I feel free. I've come to a place where new life is born, where the gentle breeze brushes my skin, and when the sun dances like corn. I've come to a place where branches reach out to me, where they are accepted of me, and where they are embracing me. Birch is also about a new journey and intentions. Birch is a cleanser, it's a nourisher, it's a connection to the young and to change. I have come to a place where the branches reach out to me, where they are accepting of me, and whether they are embracing me. I've come to a place where I know myself, where I hold myself, where I am kind to myself. Spend a moment chatting to Birch. Is there a new journey ahead for you? Do you need nourishment? Are you feeling alone? Do you need company? Birch is also about the loss of familiar things, but also losing fear of the unknown. Good fortune, happiness, energizing and vitalizing. I have come to a place where the birch leaves fall, where they shed the old and usher in the new. I've come to a place where birch nourishes me, where birch encourages me, where the roots dig deep and feed me. I've come to a place where I feel blessed, where the birch sees me, and where life no longer tests me. I've come to a place where birch stands tall, where I can stand tall, where honesty is undeniably me. Change is always good. New patterns arise. Old ones disappear and give rise to new things. I've come to a place where birch reflects me, where I'm shown who I can be, and where I see where I want to be. I have come to a place where I am unafraid to love, where I'm shown how to give, and where I have learned how to bend. I've come to a place where there is a new path ahead of me, where the world is in front of me, and where the spirit can soar free. I have come to a place where I can say, so mote it be. It's time to start to rejoin us. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And another breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. With each breath, notice your chest rising and falling. Breathe again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Take a moment, and when you're ready, rejoin us in the chat. Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel so chilled now. Oh, I'm glad you found that beautiful. Where is it? There it is. Oh, I'm glad you found that beautiful, and yeah, I really enjoyed recording that. Oh, I'm glad you found that so amazing. Chill to the max. Yeah, defo. I wasn't going to do that one, as I said earlier, but I thought it really explained what I mean about when we use associations, or correspondences is what they're also known. My dogs enjoyed that too. Do let me know if you would like me, and those of you that were here last time as well, whether you actually would like me to do that, more of that kind of content, and more of the video kind of content. Do let me know as well, because that will really help me to know what you guys are finding helpful as well. So, but that really did talk about birch, and how the birch tree and every aspect of the birch tree actually really focuses on every aspect of our life. Divine inspiration is all about that. It's all about finding the little things and just catching it in your heart, catching a glimmer in your eye that all of a sudden it picks up and goes, ah, that birch meditation was born off the back of one of those moments, and I'm really pleased that you all kind of enjoyed that. Really pleased. Do let me if you would like more of that kind of content for the next one as well. I know I've got the moon meditations coming up, and I think one of those meditations is going to be one of those contents anyway. Okay, so let's go back to our sheets. So the sheets actually look like this. This is a time where you might want to pick up your pen and your paper, particularly. And thinking about everything that we've been talking about, write down on your first one. We don't need to know it up in the comments or anything like that, unless you want to put them there, of course. But what's your focus for this Imbolc season? Did that meditation show you anything? Did it inspire you to do something or not? And how might you use Imbolc with your focus and to move you forwards? Oh, I'm pleased you found that absolutely amazing. So pleased. I do love so much doing that kind of content. Those I've got several. I've only got a couple of tree ones though. I think I should carry on doing the tree ones and maybe some more. One for each of the turn of the wheel, or each month. There's one for each month if you look at the Celtic calendar. So I'm inspired to find a new job. I have 2 interviews coming up, so fingers crossed. Oh, well done. It's always nice to get interviews coming up, so that's absolutely brilliant. So with your focus for the season, how do you think Imbolc, looking at what it is, how Imbolc can help us, how do you think that can help you looking for a job? Write that down. Is there something that you feel that you need to do? Obviously for yourself, you don't need to share everything. Give you another couple of more moments on that. So let's go back. So your focus for the season, let's have a look. So perhaps you want to get pregnant. Perhaps many of you are probably thinking, no way, I'm not going to do that again. maybe you're not finding the inspiration that you think that you need to in nature, and maybe that maybe your focus is for you to actually go and search for that. Perhaps you need to just rejuvenate. Perhaps there's something going on that you need to let the seeds swell. But what this time of the year is, whilst it's slower, it's still a time of preparation, and things are going on in the background, ready to spring forth for Ostara, which is the time of giving birth for sure. So let's move on. Ways to celebrate Imbolc and resonate with you most. It says me most because that's for you. So how are you going to celebrate? I need more me time. Kids are 16 and 12, and I need to find Jane again. Oh, bless you. Yeah, it's really difficult when you're a mother. I think so. I remember when my kids were ickle. and it was really, really difficult to actually to find me time and be just me, because children, they are lovely and they're beautiful, but they do kind of, your identity kind of gets lost in them. Well, that's what I found anyway. So ways to celebrate Imbolc that resonate with you most. So this could be lighting a fire. This could be doing lighting a candle every day. Would be a lovely way just to remember that the light is coming back into our lives again. Perhaps you actually have an altar. If you're a witch like I am, then perhaps you have an altar and you decorate that altar with symbols of Imbolc. I would always suggest, if you're doing that kind of thing, always choose stuff that is relevant to you. A lot of people actually make altars and stuff that actually look good, but actually don't really have much meaning. So if you know, it's making an altar that has stuff that is really relevant and will actually make you think, oh, well, actually, this is the season of Imbolc. This was my focus, and I remember doing that. Every time I look at my altar, then perhaps you can do that with your candle as well. This is my focus. This brings me back to who I am. So maybe that's you, Jane. Maybe that's giving yourself some more me time. Maybe that's your focus. Maybe the way to celebrate that is lighting that candle. What is awakening in me now? Is there anything that is awakening in you? Have you got a new spiritual path that's coming that you've been thinking about? Have you got a new desire to write poetry? This season's all about writing poetry. So, or anything creative. Perhaps there's a new project that you want to start. But what's awakening in you now? Is there a spiritual awakening happening? Write it down. Get it down so you can look back on it. And what areas in my life needs tending to at this time? Because this is a time of tending and not letting things die, pass away and wither. It can be quite difficult at this time of year, especially for Imbolc. But all these things, we've got 2 weeks before Imbolc. 10 days, is it 10 days? Something like that. So this is all in preparation for that time. So we've got plenty of time for us to kind of look at this. And I would suggest over the next few days, at least a few days, anything that springs to mind as you're walking down the street, as you're walking through the woods, as you're going to work, as you wake up in the morning, or you're in your bath, giving you some me time. Write down if you've got any thoughts about these 4 questions, and then work out how Imbolc is speaking to you through that, and how you can use the ideas of Imbolc to actually bring them forth. Right. Well, I hope everybody, we're drawing to an end now. So has anybody got any questions? We've actually been on air for nearly an hour and a half. Has anybody got any questions that they would like to ask me? Which would be, if I can answer them, I shall answer them straight away. No, so okay, so I've not yeah, so I've not got anything at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to close circle now, and we'll draw the live session to a close. My email box is always open to you guys, so if you've got any questions, just PM me through Facebook, and I just PM me and I help out if I can, give you any advice or whatever. That'd be great. So let's draw the evening to a close. Was there something come up? No. Add to page. That's the one. Okay. So just to close the circle then, if we look at our candles, sit up straight again, and just think of the people that we're within the chat. And I'll say, from north and south, we bid you fade, O guardians who watched this night. South and east pass back the shade that's witnessed in your sacred sight. O ye divine, whose names we hail, we bid you fond and true farewell. So mote it be. Brilliant. Well, that's it for tonight. And it's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You're most welcome. And I really appreciate you all dropping by. I really do. And if you do want proper copies of those leaflets, those handouts, then please do go visit my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Harkate and you can go and grab them from there. If you're a pot store extraordinaire, you can get them free, or they're £4 each. So anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Bright blessings to you, and good night.